I'm going to keep it spoiler free because I hate spoilers, even though I don't think there's much to spoil in this movie. Prey is a sequel to the original Predator franchise, and it's directed by Dan Trachtenberg. I'm not sure I'm saying that right, but I did like his other movie, 10 Cloverfield Lane, which is also a sequel. But honestly, it was better than the original. And Prey stars Amber Midthunder, which honestly has one of the coolest names I've ever heard, Midthunder, that's awesome, and Dakota Beavers as her brother. And I think both actors did a really good job. I really liked all the Native American aspects of the movie. I find that fascinating in its own right outside of Predator movies. So it was nice to see that, and I'm no expert or anything, but it seemed like the costumes and what the characters were doing, in their day-to-day activities, seemed historically accurate to me. And I also really like the way the Predator looked. These movies usually are pretty hit and miss with how they depict the Predators, and Prey is a hit to me. I really like the look of it. He was menacing, but also not completely all-powerful, which makes sense because this story takes place 300 years ago. And the Predator technology also reflects that. It's not just the Predators we're used to, just 300 years ago. Because yeah, right, the first thought that came to my mind, maybe your mind as well, is how are Native Americans gonna fight a Predator? Seems a little far-fetched, and it is. And there are certain things in this movie, especially something that Amber Midthunder's character does with her weapon, that is just physically impossible. It reminds me of something you see in like an anime where it looks cool, it's fine for the story, but realistically, it would just never work. Kind of like Attack on Titan, right? Their ODM gear that they use to zip around. In the anime, it looks cool, but realistically speaking, that's completely impossible, and it's just nonsense. It's not to that degree in Prey, and it's really not a big deal. There's just little things like that they probably didn't need to do, but it looks cool, and it does the job of conveying that the main characters are clever, and that's all that really matters. It doesn't take away from my enjoyment of the film. The cinematography, of course, is great. You can tell by the commercials that this is going to be a beautiful movie to look at, and it is. It's an artistic action movie, and it definitely is tied to the original series, maybe in a lazy way, unless they're trying to open it up for sequels, which I would definitely watch. A direct sequel to this movie would be great. But honestly, it's not the best action movie I've ever seen. It's not the best Predator movie I've ever seen. It's not better than the original. But I would rank it up there with like Part 2 or even the Predators movie that came out by Robert Rodriguez. Even though I gotta say that I enjoyed this one a little bit more. But it could be because I like seeing Native Americans depicted in movies. So maybe that put it above the other sequels to me. It's not perfect, but what it does really well. Especially the way they portray the Native Americans. I gotta say that was my favorite part. Some of the action though, not so much. Some of the situations and how they get out of them, I think could have been written better. But overall, it's a very solid movie. I think Predator fans will really like it. I'm not sure about casual fans though. Although I would have loved to have gone into this movie not knowing it's a Predator movie. Just somebody telling me, oh, it's a movie that takes place a few centuries ago, there's some Native Americans in it, it's an action movie. And then slowly seeing it turn into a Predator movie, I think would be great. If you have the opportunity to show it to somebody in that way, might be cool for them and fun for you to watch them realize what they're watching. So overall, I recommend it. If I had to give it a score from 1 to 10, I would give it around a 7. As far as a Predator sequel goes, it didn't surpass my expectations, but it wasn't bad and held my attention throughout. I was never bored, and I'll probably watch it again. So 7 out of 10. Alright guys, thanks for watching and take it easy.